Hi, Aaron. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Andrea? How's everything?
Long time no see. What you been up to? Have you been in the Israel-Palestine TikTok lives?
No, no, not recently. Just been doing other stuff.
Taking a break, taking a break, taking a break. You know what? It's kind of good to sometimes take a breather. We all need a breather from this shit show, honestly. Let me tell you something. After the hostages got unalived, I honestly took a break from the news. I honestly needed to take a moment, and I was still on TikTok, but I needed to take a moment and just not. I was honestly just a little bit of a wreck, and I honestly lost like 2 pounds in like 2 days, which never happens. I think it was stress.
That's crazy. But wait, let me ask you, like, what are you guys talking about, like, today? Like, I usually, like, I'm always jumping into different battles. So when I mean battles, I don't mean like TikTok battles. I'm always like doing something because I like to talk about history and stuff. So,
I don't like to talk about 75 years ago.
no, I know. But this is the wait. What is the discussion of the topic today? If you don't mind me asking.
It depends who I'm talking to. Like honestly, like I just got in. Like I was just talking to a Moroccan, and we were talking about Morocco and Israel. But like, you're not related to any country in the Middle East, so I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Just don't. Please don't do 75 years ago.
I
I
won't
just
do
want to talk about
75. I won't do. I will not do 75 years ago. But you know my position when it comes to the Israel-Palestine conflict. I do.
I actually forgot it because I talked to so many people.
So,
But
I'll say it real quick. I will definitely say that I do believe in the self-determination of the Palestinian people. I do.
so do I. But hold on. But Aaron, so do I. Like
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking
Tuesday.
about my position. I'm just trying to explain it right now. I'm not saying that you're not that. I'm
Yeah,
just
but
talking
what
about
do
my
you think about
position.
what's happening today? I don't want to hear your whole position. What do you think? Like, what do you think? Like today, like right now, what is today? September 2nd. I don't know what date it is. September 2nd, 2024. What do you think about what's happening today?
1 + 1 = 2. I think Israel is committing genocide against the Palestinian people.
Okay, all right. Now listen. We can debate whether it's genocide or not. I would rather people use their words instead of use buzzwords, like describe exactly what's going on. But so what exactly do you think is going on? Don't use buzzwords.
So wait, remember buzzwords? Okay, I'll use like they're killing a shitload of people. Is that a better word?
Unaliving a shitload of people. So
That's not bad.
in a war, a shitload of people get unalived.
I get it. Yes, I do understand that, but I don't think this is a war because like the other side is
Hold on,
not as
hold on, hold
well
on.
off.
You don't hold on. You don't think it's a war? I get so amused when people get up here and say it's
But
not
at
a
least give
war.
me the benefit of the doubt, though. Give me the benefit of the doubt. But give me the benefit of the doubt to explain it.
Aaron. With all due respect, anybody in Israel-Palestine conflict is saying it's a war. Only people who are just moronic are saying it's not a war. Listen, it's called the Israel-Hamas war. Listen. You can say it's genocide, not genocide. You know, genocides happen within wars. Listen, that's not take away your genocide claim, which I totally disagree with. But it's like it's a war. Like how could anyone with any brain say it's not a war? It's not a pillow match. Like it's a war. It's just like there have been previous Gaza wars. It's a war.
I don't know. I don't know any children fighting against like that.
Are
That
there
like
children fighting this? Like, I mean, there are children T words, but I mean, this is a war. How can you say this is not a war? Well, that's not even an argument. This is so silly to say it's not a war.
1,200 against 50,000 civilians. But go ahead.
But they're not fighting civil. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to say this. Please let me land my plane. This is not. It's not called the Israel Gaza war. It's called the Israel Hamas war. Israel declared war against the H group. They are fighting the H group. The Gazans are just caught in the middle, just like the Israelis are caught in the middle. It's the IDF against the H group. And you got a bunch of people in Gaza who are trapped there in the middle of this war between the IDF and the H group. And you got the hostages caught in the middle of it too.
So why would you cut like water and like supplies going into that place that affects all civilians?
Right
Or
now,
everybody in the war?
right now, they everything now all the humanitarian aid is flowing in like crazy. But the reason why they cut off those kind of things was to hurt the H group, because you have to understand the H group is the government, and the H group is the fighters, and the H group, and you have to understand there's two kinds of H group people. There's the actual members of H group, and then there's the people who are supporting H group. And let me tell you something about that refugee camp. One of the
what if I'm a 15-year-old that supports the H group?
Let me just say one thing. There was a refugee camp they hit, and I remember when they hit that refugee camp, a bunch of articles came out that made a very valid point. In that refugee camp, there were two different kinds of people with H group. There were the people that were the actual H group, and then there were all the people that were helping the H group. There were all the people that were housing the hostages. They were helping the H group. They weren't actually members, but they were people that were helping support the H group. They were all the people that were helping hide the H group. So people don't call them H group combatants, but they're not exactly civilians. They're like, there's like the murderers and the accessory to murder. Don't
you think I could say the same? Don't you think I could say the same thing about an enclave that was like right next to Gaza, like one of those like kibbutz that's in there? What is a kibbutz filled with civilians protected by the military of the Israeli government? Why are they considered civilians, and then the people that are adjacent to like what are bombing in Gaza, how they consider combatants?
You know what you're talking about?
Hamas could literally say the same thing.
You're very confused, because I've been to those border towns. It's not an enclave. It's a border town. The only difference between that town and another town in Israel is that it's on the border of Gaza. It's just in a different location.
What is Gaza? What is Gaza?
Gaza is a place, well, it's technically
is it controlled by Israel? Like, why is a colonial thing?
Aaron, why are you yelling? It's not even your struggle. You're more upset than a Palestinian sometimes when they come on my live. The Palestinian that was on here just 10 minutes ago was more calm than you are. Just relax. Lower your blood pressure. Listen, Aaron. Listen. The border towns, the only reason they call them border towns is because they're on the border of Israel. On the border of Gaza. The reason they're called a kibbutz is because a kibbutz is a kind of town, but it's still a town. It's just on the border of Gaza.
So
why aren't they allowed to live there? It's part of Israel. It's not in Gaza.
Wait. Can I ask you, Andrea? Can you hear me? I'm sorry, because I just got a call come through. But
I can hear you. We can hear you. Okay. But all I'm saying is it's on the border. It's part of Israel. It's not in Gaza.
So wait. First of all, like you mentioned that, like, I'm sorry for getting a little loud. Sometimes I get passionate.
There are kibbutzes in other parts of Israel too, not just on the border of Gaza.
No, I know. The thing is that I was saying that me being passionate about something doesn't mean that like why can I be passionate about human beings that are
you're screaming listen, with all due respect, I've been in lives where the Palestinian is totally calm and rational, and the pro-Palestinians who have no connection to it whatsoever are screaming and hollering at the top of the lungs. Let me tell you something. I know a Palestinian on Twitter who does Twitter Spaces, and one thing that's to his advantage, major to his advantage, which I know I get upset too, is that he always stays cool and calm and collective, and no matter how upset he is, I'm sure he's very upset sometimes, he never gets upset. And that really
I understand, but you have to understand that people are different. And me, when I see like children being blown off in pieces, of course I'm gonna be like, yeah, angry. It could be a Palestinian, it could be American, it could be like whatever. Of course I'm gonna be angry.
Yelling at me is not gonna help the Palestinians.
I'm not yelling. This is just me being passionate. I was just asking. So I'll go back to the calm thing. So I'll go back to asking.
So I've been to the border towns, Aaron, and like they're like towns. They're towns. Yeah.
Okay, but
they're not protected. They're not protected like the IDF any more than any other town. I don't really understand. Did you know on October 7th the IDF really?
So who protects Hamas? Who protects Gaza?
I mean, the Hamas does. They're in charge.
All right. Who protects Israel?
The IDF, the Israeli
exactly.
police.
So I can literally say the same thing that like when Israel attacks Hamas in the H group inside Gaza. There's going to be a bunch of like civilians being attacked and all of that, blah, blah, and there's going to be civilian, how you like to say, collateral damage. Why can I say that the H group did the same thing? Oh, wow, yeah, like the kibbutz were part of like collateral damage.
Hold on. But Aaron, there's a difference, right? Because basically those civilians didn't do anything to the H group. They didn't attack them first. So for the age group to just go randomly go slaughter a bunch of people, which by the way, a bunch of them weren't even as like Israeli. They were just people visiting who were working on farms. Yeah, you seem to forget that. 50 of them were Muslims, Israeli Arabs who were Palestinian, technically. Like, I mean, to just go slaughter people who happen to be near their border because they couldn't get any further than that, to slaughter more people.
I literally said, we could say the same thing about a kid, a man in Gaza, 2-year-old.
You know, Aaron, why are you excusing going and slaughtering innocent people? Like, why
I'm not excusing it. I think you are.
You feel bad. You feel bad for slaughtered Palestinians, but you don't feel bad for slaughtered Israelis, including Muslims, and foreigners who were there who also got in their way.
I mean, if we were to like pick a number like between 50,000 and like 100,
Aaron, I tell you something. I feel bad for all the slaughtered people on October 7th. I feel bad for all the Palestinians who have died who are civilians, not T people. Like, I feel bad for all the dead people. I don't know why you can't feel bad for all the dead people.
I do feel bad for everybody, but I have to talk about the one that
I can't look at the videos of dead Palestinians. It makes me cry. I have cried when I see dead Palestinians. That's why I'm passionate.
That's why because I look at those videos. That's why I get loud.
Aaron, the fact that you don't cry when you see dead Israelis, like, I don't understand the difference. They're all, you know what Hirsch's mom said? Hirsch's mom, who just lost her son, the Israeli hostage, she said when they got up in the DNC and it was time to advocate for their son, it was their moment. They took a time to say that the Palestinians were suffering in Gaza and that the suffering in Gaza needed to end. And they said, the Talmud says, every soul is a universe and all those souls need to be saved. And they were talking about the Gazans because they mentioned the Gazans. And the Palestinians didn't get a chance to talk at the DNC, but they mentioned the Gazans at the DNC. The Gazans, those very same people that Hamas is part of them and kidnapped their son and just murdered their son. So think about that. They were big enough to think about the Gazans when their son was being held hostage by them. So think about that for a second. That woman, that mother who was crying, I'm going to cry in a second. That woman who was crying out for her son thought about the Gazans. Have the Gazans ever thought about the Israelis for even 1 minute? That woman who was crying out for her son on that DNC stage thought about the Gazans. Have you guys ever for 1 minute thought about the Israelis? Let me ask you that. For even 1 minute. For even 1 minute.
You know what's crazy?
Let me tell you, Aaron. There is a baby. Aaron, there is a baby that is kidnapped in Gaza. There is a baby and a 4-year-old child that is kidnapped in Gaza. Have you thought about those children for even 1 minute, or have you only thought about dead Palestinian children? Have you thought about those Israeli children?
Are you going to let me say it now, or? Right.
I'm just
so
wondering,
look, that woman that talked at the DNC, she's a real human being. You know why? Because she felt what happened to her own family, and then she was able to reflect it back what's happening to Palestinian families. You know what? Wait, let me talk. I'm not even going to finish. Andrea, let me finish.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Why are you not letting me finish? I literally let me speak.
Aaron, you only care about her because she fell for the Gazans.
You literally are not letting me speak. You're speaking for me. So if you let me speak, and then I'll be quiet. I'll listen to everything you said. I'm not even interrupting you.
Go ahead, Aaron.
That woman, again, I go back to it. Of course, she fell for the Palestinian people because she saw the reflection of what happened to her own family. So, of course, as a human being, you're going to sympathize with that. And you don't think anyone that is a human being that has a family is going to reflect on that. And you know what? That lady did the right thing because the political people of the DNC never said anything. It had to be the victim, the family of a victim, because that person knows what happens when your loved one is gone. So, yes, of course, I sympathize with that. And actually, I admire that lady's courage to be able to say that. So don't attack what I'm saying about that. Again, I go back to the thing. That lady had enough humanity to sympathize with the Palestinian people. I think we should follow her example. We should all humanize, not only with the Israelis that went through that, but we should follow what that lady did. She humanized the Palestinian people. They are going through some of the worst struggle possible. How
Aaron,
can you tell me not to be
12,
emotional about
Aaron,
things when I'm seeing children being
you
blown
just
up?
said 12. Aaron, you just said 1,200 people didn't matter. You said 1,200
I never
people
said
were
that. Don't
killed
put words in my
by
mouth.
the
I never
age group.
said that.
You just justified it. You said what age group did. Well, that was okay because
I
whatever.
never said that. Stop putting words in my mouth.
Replay the live. It's going on.
Well, I'm telling you right now, I did not say that. I'm clarifying it.
You literally said.
But I'm clarifying it right now. Let's say I said that. I'm clarifying it now. I did not say that. Get it? I cannot go back.
You're like, well, they were on the border, yada 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 yada.
No. I don't go back to that. I'm explaining to you now what I'm thinking about, and you're going back to that. I'm explaining to you that I do not believe that innocent people should have been killed. I've never said anything like that. So don't put words in my mouth. I am only telling you that I agree with what that lady said, which is sympathizing with the Palestinian people in Gaza that are going through that horrible thing. I can't even
And we should sympathize with the Israelis. We should sympathize.
I literally just told you I did. So, like,
okay.
And I agree with that lady.
Alhamdulillah, Baruch Hashem. Great.
So I do hope that you do sympathize with the Palestinian people, and
didn't I even tell you that I literally cry when I see dead Palestinian babies? Like, I don't watch it because it bothers me so much.
Yeah, no, and I understand. This is the thing, though. I'm not justifying the crimes committed by like any group, but like the same thing. If you believe that the H group is a genocidal group, I do believe that the counter to that, which is the IDF, the IOF, I think they call it.
The IDF doesn't target innocent civilians. The H group goes and blows themselves up in buses. And you know what? Let me tell you something, Aaron. You probably haven't watched this. The H group leader, I believe it was the leader, I believe that's which guy it was, just released a video like 3 days ago, recorded a video, he's speaking, saying that he's encouraging his H group people in the West Bank and Israel to go blow themselves up in places again, like during the Intifadas. And there was just an attack the other day in Tel Aviv where someone was wearing the vest to blow themselves up, and they almost did in a synagogue, but they didn't get there. They did it by a car, and it accidentally blew up too early. They didn't get to the synagogue.
Yeah, but I don't support that, so.
But that's what H group does, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but Israel does the same thing. They just
Israel goes and
collateral damage.
Israel goes and blows himself up places? I don't think so. That's not what Israel
they blow up a whole building and just kill like 20 families. So.
Well, they go and blow up buildings with T people inside.
What's T people?
T people, the TERROR.
Yeah, but then let's say they get one, they kill 100?
No, you don't understand. I think you guys think that half the people who are T people are civilians, but they're really T people. There's a lot of
look, I'm not going to play the game. I am not going to play the game of like saying that like an innocent civilian is a terrorist, a T word. I can't play that,
Aaron, you know what? They were saying like half the journalists weren't T people, but turned out they were. Like, with all due respect, Aaron, there's a lot of bad people running around. I hate to break it to you, Aaron.
I hate to break it to you, but there's a lot of
It's a sad reality. It's the sad reality, Aaron. I mean, you guys were saying the teenagers weren't T people, while teenagers were out stabbing and shooting people and blowing up things, and that was the reality in Israel. I mean, they were doing it. You guys
said the same thing about the
video. I saw a video. I
saw like 100 videos of Israeli soldiers committing the worst atrocities possible. I'm sorry, I call them T words.
Aaron, I'm sure you saw a video.
Oh, I saw
Aaron, with all due respect, Aaron, half of those videos are edited, and
I literally can say the same thing about you.
Aaron, but the thing is, it's not edited, and it's also in the news.
I can say the same thing about you. I'm sorry.
It's also in the news.
Sorry. I've seen plenty.
It's also documented, and they also admitted to it after they did it because they were proud of it.
Israel did too on Telegram.
They weren't shot dead while they were in the process of doing the T attack.
Israel did too, unfortunately. I don't think you saw that, but I saw that.
The IDF soldiers didn't admit to committing the crime.
Yeah, they did. And they actually released people that assaulted prisoners.
There are some IDF soldiers who have done some horrendous things, but they are the minority. They are the majority. Listen about the SA thing with the prisoner. Listen, I don't know.
Pretty horrible.
listen, Aaron. I don't know who's guilty, who's not guilty.
It's the Israeli military that was like.
Aaron, let me say something. Please
Pretty
use
horrible.
TikTok language. SA, please say SA. Listen,
I say, yeah.
we're probably talking one person. One person. Listen, if all the people of all, like, listen, how many times in American prisons does someone get SA? Like what, on a daily basis?
Yeah, but I don't want to compare
Listen,
America to
Aaron,
like
Aaron, let me finish, Aaron, let me finish. I'm not saying it's not horrible, terrible, despicable, shouldn't be punished with long jail sentences. I'm not saying all that. What I'm saying to you is it's a double standard, because it happens in Israel. People are like, oh my God. When it happens all over the world, in prisons, everywhere in the world, I'm not saying it shouldn't never happen. It should never happen. I'm just saying this is not unique to Israel. And people claiming that people are innocent when people are really guilty is also not unique to Israel. Let me tell you something about the right wing. The right wing always believes their people are innocent. So people defending this guy, I know right wing people, they're defending him not because they believe SA is right. They're defending him because they truly believe he didn't do it. I know there's one nutcase in the Knesset who's a nobody who said SA this, SA that. But this guy doesn't even he's not even a minister. He's just some nutcase that only hits the news when he says bad things about Arabs. He's just a fruit cake. And there's always an insane person somewhere, you know? So you quote the one insane guy that probably should be in a mental hospital. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, the only thing I will say this, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go back to like what they do in America. I'm gonna believe the victims. I'm sorry. Like there was some horrible things that happened there, and the horrible thing is that the Israeli society mobilized to defend these people that assaulted SA people in there, and then the United Nations came out saying like, "Hey, yeah, actually, what the hell are you doing? Like, why is the Israeli military like releasing people that were?"
Aaron, it was probably one. Aaron, they haven't released all of them, by the way. They only released a few of them. By the way, there's probably only like one person who's guilty of it. Like, how many people does it, like, come on, really? Like, how do you know?
I don't know. I'm not going to defend someone
Aaron, how do you know? How do you know, like, you're claiming you know the guilt of everybody and you weren't even there? Like, you're playing judge.
How come you
Aaron,
say that they're innocent?
Aaron, all I'm saying is you're playing judge, jury, and executioner.
And you do.
All I'm saying is I don't know. What did I begin my story with?
Don't look like you're defending them, though.
Aaron, I'm saying I don't know who's guilty and who's not guilty. I literally began my story with that. I don't know who's guilty and not guilty, but it could be one person, it could be 4 people, it could be 9 people. But if they've released like 4 of the people, then I'm assuming only 5 of the people or whatever are guilty. That's all I'm saying. They have due process in Israel. Aaron, believe it or not, they've sent people to jail before for abusing Arabs. Believe it or not, they've done it. They've done it recently. I saw it in the paper the other day. There were some Jewish guys that beat up an Arab guy in the old city, and they locked them up. So they've done it recently.
No, I believe you, but I'm just saying that in this case, they literally let some people, like guilty people, let go, and then I don't understand why.
How do you know, Aaron? With all due respect, how do you know?
So look, this is how I know, because I don't know why the Israeli public will go out of their way to support people that assaulted prisoners.
How do you know?
That is crazy.
Aaron, again.
The Israeli government said it.
The Israeli government said this guy is guilty, but we're releasing him. They said it. You have
what did they do?
The Israeli government said, we know this guy essayed this guy, but we're letting him go. You have a reliable news source that said that.
100%, and you know it's true.
Okay,
why did they release the people?
Aaron, what's the reliable news source that said we know? Let's say Tom assaulted this guy and releasing him. What's the reliable news source?
Oh my God, the United States and the Israeli government admitted it. I'm not trying to come up with everybody can look it up.
Specifically, Tom did it, not the other suspects that they did it.
And you know there's an investigation going on.
Aaron, again, they only released so many of the suspects. They're still holding some of them. So how do you know that the suspects that they're still holding aren't the guilty ones? Again, I think you're just talking through your ass. I hate to break it to
Look,
you.
Andrea, let's agree to disagree. I just don't want to be put in a place where I'm defending people that assaulted people.
Aaron,
You're on that
Aaron,
side, I'm on the other side.
Aaron, was it Al Jazeera? Was it Al Jazeera?
Haaretz. But look, listen to this.
Aaron, do you have a, let me ask you a question. Do you have a Haaretz subscription?
Huh?
Do you have a Haaretz subscription?
Let me ask you something.
No, Aaron, before, I promise I'll answer your question. Just answer this one question. Do you have a Haaretz subscription?
Wait, can I ask you? Wait,
no,
I have
Aaron, before you continue, I just...
No, because you don't let me talk. I'm only basing it
Aaron, I promise I won't.
No, I don't. Let's say I don't.
Okay,
You have a secret link.
Aaron, then you didn't even read the article. Because you have to have a Haaretz, and I have a Haaretz subscription.
You want me to show you how to get it?
Aaron, you have to have a Haaretz subscription to read the article, so you didn't even read the article. And by the way, you know why nobody has a Haaretz subscription? Because Haaretz is more expensive than the New York Times or anything like that. The only thing that's more expensive
is the
Wall
her how to read. Someone tell her in the comments how to read all of these articles.
Sorry, you can't read the Haaretz. The Haaretz is pretty bad paywall.
Look, I'm gonna send you a link exactly how to do it. Okay, New York Times, anything you want. I'm gonna send you how to do all of that. Okay, it doesn't even matter. This is the point.
Aaron,
it could be like any
the point is the Haaretz is such a rag that most people in Israel don't read it. It's like the most
unread. Now is that.
Aaron,
okay.
let me finish. It's the most unread newspaper in Israel, and the reason why people read it abroad is because the pro-Palis like it, so it's quoted by pro-Pali people. And the worst thing about Haaretz, let me tell you why they're unreliable, it's because 75% of their sources are anonymous. And another thing is, Haaretz articles tell about themselves, because when you get 3/4 of the way through the article, they tell you how their headline really isn't true. They'll tell you, they'll contradict what their original conclusion was. So you really got to read the whole article, because like I said, 3/4 of the way they'll be like, but it wasn't really what we said it was. So with all due respect, I have a Haaretz subscription, and I've read a ton of Haaretz articles, so I know how the Haaretz works. Believe me, I know. I pay to read Haaretz. I don't read it through whatever VPN or whatever you're reading it.
Which is the same thing. I'm not going to put money into some Israeli newspaper. I'm sorry.
That means you're stealing media, which as an ex-journalist, that's terrible.
I'm not stealing media. Information is free. I believe information is free.
You're cheap, and you should pay for your journalism.
I'm not cheap. You know what it is? I believe information should be free.
Those writers, as bad as they are, they work hard to write articles, as shitty as those articles are, and you should be paying for journalism, not stealing it. And that means you're cheap. And if you can't afford a Haaretz subscription, you shouldn't be reading Haaretz articles. I hate the Haaretz, but I stand 100% by what I'm saying. Pay the subscription or don't read the article.
Everybody, if you believe that information and public information and news should be free, you do it. That's what I believe in. I'm sorry, that's my philosophy.
It's not public. It's behind a paywall. It's not public. It's not public. It's subscription based. It's behind a paywall. It's not public. It's subscription based. It's behind a paywall. You are stealing media.
Yes, I am. I'm proudly doing it. I will never pay for Haaretz.
You are a thief. You are.
Yes, I am. Yep.
Because you don't pay.
Just like Israel.
You're cheap and you're stealing media.
I'd rather steal it. I'm not gonna pay Israeli company anything like that. Sorry,
you know what? You're stealing.
I'm sorry. Yeah, just like Israel stealing Palestinian land. I'm doing the same thing they're doing.
Well, you know what? It belongs to the Israelis and the Palestinians. The Jews, the Israelis, the Palestinians, the Druze, the Armenians. Belongs to a whole smorgasbord of people, not just the Palestinians. Hate to break it to you. Reality sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, everybody. You don't have to pay for Haaretz or anybody. Like New York Times and all of that's completely free. Information is free and should be owned by everybody. That's what I think.
New York Times isn't free either. You're supposed to pay the subscription.
I ain't paying them either. Why would I pay them? They lie to me all the time too.
Horrible morals. It's so unethical.
Oh,
So,
morals? You talking about morals and
are
you
you
defending
Christian?
Israel?
It's part of the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not steal. Are you like,
Yeah, you should not kill either, but Israel does it all the time.
Dude, with all due respect, according to you, in your humble opinion, Aaron, are you someone special? Like, since you say Israel steals, like, that means they steal? Like, who are you to, like, are you judge, jury, and executioner?
Yes, I am. Look, Israel is committing war crimes. I'm not doing that,
According
so
to Aaron.
I sleep like a baby. I sleep like a baby. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't kill any children or anything like that. So
Aaron, you couldn't fight in a war if someone gave you a toy gun.
I don't want to fight. Why would I want to destroy another human being? I'm a human. I'm not a monster.
Aaron,
I don't want to destroy another human.
Can I tell you something? Soldiers, we owe them our loyalty. We owe them our honor because if
you owe them that.
Aaron, if we didn't have soldiers, we wouldn't have the right to practice our religions. We wouldn't have freedom of speech. We wouldn't have the right to protest, which I'm sure you love to do. So without our military, without our great military, we wouldn't have the great country we have today, and Israel wouldn't have the great country they have today.
I'm going to use your same argument. Y'all shall not kill.
To our military. By the way, today, in honor of Hirsch, I donate to Pizza IDF. Turn your grief into something constructive. Donate to charity.
Not to the IDF, but to charity.
To charity. Pizza IDF is a charity. You get tax deductible from your donation. It's a charity.
Careful. In the future, your donation to the IDF may be considered a terrorist donation. So just be careful.
In your wildest dreams, that's going to happen.
In the future, though, because it is, they're committing war crimes, so you have to be very careful.
In your opinion, but you're
I'm telling you right now.
You're a random person. You're not a mover and shaker, so it really doesn't mean anything.
Exactly, but in the future, most of the young American people do believe that the IDF is a deep group. So anyone that's supporting them, we should go back and review.
Aaron, let me tell you something. Everybody, listen, if I thought the way I was when I was 19, I don't think I'd be alive at 49. Listen, the bottom line is everybody when they're young thinks stupid things, and then they get older and they get wiser, as they say. So these young people grow up and they'll change. Luckily, they'll wisen up. They won't be thinking like they are when they're young. So I'm sure, hopefully, they'll wise. Hopefully, this generation won't be as stupid as they are when they're 20. Let's put it that way.
Pretty arrogant of you to say that, but sure, okay.
Aaron, I'm much older than you are. I know about being young and being older. You grow wiser as you get older.
I'm not saying anything like that, Andrea. I do understand that when we get older, we do understand things better. And I'm gonna tell you this: I'm sure you understand some things better than me. I'm not saying that. I'm not even talking about age either. So that's why I didn't want to go anywhere in there. But yes, I do agree with you to a certain extent. When we get older, we get wiser about things that happen in the world. But also, too, we have indoctrination in the United States. And I'm sorry, I do think there is a space for Israel to exist and all of that. But Israel kind of messed up. They're actually committing war crimes and committing genocide. It's very hard for anybody to defend that.
You know what they said that was very, very smart? And it's probably true. They said war crimes.
I'm listening to you. I'm just going to put it down, but I'm listening to you, okay? Give me 1 second because I'm doing something.
They said war crimes happens in every war. It's just a fact of war, and I'm not excusing war crimes. But listen, H group has definitely committed war crimes. Like that's like no questioning that. But as the Israeli soldiers, some of them done some awful things. I'm not denying that. Has the IDF as a whole, like as a totality army, done war crimes all the time? I don't believe that. Has the Israeli army as a total army tried to avoid civilian casualties? I believe that. Have there been some soldiers who have maybe done some unjustified killings? Probably. But listen, the thing is, you've got millions of people serving an army. Of course, there's going to be a few bad apples here and there. Have I seen some horrendous videos of soldiers with lingerie and stuff? Yes, like I said, millions of people, there's going to be some crazy people in there. But again, as a whole army, they're doing a good thing. Even the American army has some crazy soldiers. The NYPD has some crazy cops. You got to prosecute them and get them in line and kick them out of the military or kick them out of the police force. But the Israeli army as a whole, and the numbers even match up. I know a lot of people have died, but in war, there's always a lot of people dying. The military experts have said Israel is trying to prevent civilian casualties. I know you guys are like, it's a lot of numbers. A lot of people are dying, but in war, a lot of people always die. It always happens. If it was a genocide, there'd be tons more people dying. Israel's doing a really bad job of genociding the Palestinians. I'm telling you, and also when you genocide a population, you don't flood them with humanitarian aid. You don't warn them that they're coming. You're coming. You don't send them polio shots. You know, like, I'm sorry, but it just doesn't make any sense, you know? Like, make it make sense, Aaron.
Look, Andrea, look, and I'm gonna be respectful because, like, I kind of do like your platform. I like to jump in here, and you kind of sometimes, not all the time, you block me all the time. You always want to interrupt me, but sometimes you let me say my thing. So, thank you for that. I will definitely disagree with a bunch of things that you said, but it's okay because I still. Look, despite
genocide is exterminating a population. If they're trying to exterminate them, why are they sending them thousands, hundreds of thousands of polio shots? Explain that to me.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If we let Israel continue, they're gonna get to 100, and then they're gonna get to 200, and then like, what is the point?
Can I ask you a question? Saudi Arabia and the Houthis. There were 400,000 people who died in Yemen in the Yemen war. Okay. Hold on, let me finish. And nobody called it a genocide.
Oh, I'm calling it that.
Okay, Aaron, all of a sudden you're calling it a genocide.
No. Not all of a sudden. Look, if you want me to explain, I'm going to tell you this right now. I think Saudi Arabia is one of the most perverted states in the Middle East. I'm going to tell you this right now. Not only are they not even supporting the Palestinian, but these people are destroying and committing genocide.
Aaron, that's not go on a tangent. The bottom line is when it was happening.
Wait, are you gonna let me finish, Andrea? Just give me 1 minute to say something.
Aaron, I don't want to go.
1 minute.
Aaron, I don't want to go on a tangent about Saudi Arabia.
Un minuto.
Aaron, I don't want to go on a tangent about Saudi Arabia. The point is,
I'm not. 30 seconds.
Aaron, I don't care about Saudi Arabia. The point is, the point is, it doesn't matter.
You brought it up. I didn't bring it up. I'm talking about Israel.
Aaron. It doesn't matter what you personally think. The bottom line is the world wasn't calling it a genocide. And listen, my ex is Yemeni. I don't care how you're not even connected to it. I was married to a Yemeni. So think about how I feel about it. And the world.
Yeah, but I'm a human being. I can say whatever I want about anything.
I know, Aaron, because you're so connected to every country.
I'm a human being. Yeah, because I'm a human being. Oh, yeah.
I know. Do you care about Congo, too? Tell me. Go ahead. Go on a rant about Congo, too.
Why are you mad? Yeah, I care about a bunch of things. Why can't I?
Aaron, you spread yourself so far and wide.
No, I don't, because I like to read and I like to inform myself about the world. Is that bad?
Aaron, can I ask you a question? Do you have a job too? Like, how do you have time for it?
Yeah, of course I have a job.
Aaron,
wait, why are you asking me that? I'm asking you yours.
Do you have a wife and kids too?
Huh?
Do you have a wife and kids too?
Wait, what?
I'm just wondering how you have time for all this. Like, you do a lot. Like, you have a job. Congo, Yemen.
You're right. Look, I have to give it to you. I do a lot.
You do a lot. Like, you have time for a wife, maybe 3 kids, maybe a cat, a dog, a rabbit, a snake, a fish. You do a lot.
But you know what's funny? That you're actually projecting this. Look, I will say this. Look, I am not married. You're right. I'm not married. So I actually have a lot of time to myself. I have my own business. And I make my own money, and I like to travel the world. I like to play around and stuff like that. Look, I will say this: I don't have any children, but I do. One thing that I've always been passionate about has been history, whether it's whatever country, whether it's my country.
Aaron, once you get the baby in diapers, you won't have time for all this. Take it from somebody who's taking care of 3 babies in diapers. Once the baby's in diapers, all this time will be gone. So hold off on children because you'll have no time. Take it from someone who's.
I wanna have 5 kids. I come from a big family, so I'm ready. I'm gonna have children. You better believe that. And I don't know. I gotta find time for that.
And if you have twins, you really won't have time.
So look, Andrea, I'm going to go back to it again because I know why you were saying that. You were saying that to attack me, kind of yeah, I know what you were doing. You were trying to say I'm a bum. I don't do anything on the internet. I don't have nobody. I know what you're doing. I know.
Aaron, you're not a bum. You have your own business. You're not
But this is the
above.
point. I'm gonna try to tell you what I'm doing. Like, this is the thing. You try to attack me saying, like, you got time for this, you got time for that. I'm being respectful to you. I'm not even attacking you personally, but I know you are because you're so spicy.
I'm not attacking
But
you.
look,
I'm just saying you have like.
look,
Listen,
I'm a
Aaron, listen. I don't have half the life you have.
after this, let me talk for 1 full minute.
Aaron, listen to me.
After this.
I don't have half the life you have, but I only have time for Israel Palestine.
All right, but I respect it, and I'm not gonna disrespect you or anything. But let me talk for a full minute, Andrea. And I'll be quiet, I promise, and you can say like whatever you want.
Go
Real
ahead.
quick. I would just say this. Like everybody like, look, I'm the type of person that I like to like find out about different things. If I'm wrong about something, I want to listen to the other side and all of that. And a lot of people accuse me of like hating. Like, I talk about a lot of conflicts. And a lot of people accuse me of like choosing one side or other. I really do like to listen to both sides, but I do have an opinion about things. So when I talk about the Israeli Palestinian conflict, I have an opinion, but I like to listen to the person that is holding it, which is you. You have to allow me to develop my ideas and not attack me personally. You said that you basically, with what you said the last statement, you basically say I'm a bum. I don't have a wife.
No, Aaron. I'm not even. No, Aaron. Aaron, let me try to tell you the point I was making. I don't think you're a bum. You have your own business, which is amazing. That's a big accomplishment. You're definitely not a bum. The point I was trying to make. This is the point I was trying to make because I made it to someone else a long time ago. I only talk about Israel Palestine for one reason. I think that if you cover too much stuff, you spread yourself thin, and you can't pay attention to all those topics enough. You can't spend enough time on each one of those, and you don't become like, for lack of a better word, an expert on any of those. But because I only think about Israel Palestine, I know it in and out because I spend like night and day. Like, my life is literally Israel Palestine, Israel Palestine. If I did like 5 subjects, I wouldn't know shit about any of them because I wouldn't have enough time to devote to any of them. That was my only point. I wasn't like saying you're a bum. Listen, hats off, your own business, big accomplishment.
Yeah, no, but this is the point. I don't even like talking about that. I don't talk about that stuff on my personal thing because it's like what I do online is completely separate from like my personal thing. But I always had specifically about like Palestine and Israel. I always had an opinion on it because I do think there's a lot of injustice that happens in there. Now, do I justify what the other side is doing? No. And when I mean the other side, I don't mean the people because there are like, look, I'm going to tell you this right now. There is a strong opinion.
But let me ask you a question. You said you left to travel. I just want to know, so you said you left to travel. Why haven't you gone to Israel?
So that's a very good question. So I am like, one place that I was planning, don't judge. The main reason is because I have a cousin that lives there. The one country that I was planning to live to for like at least 2-3 months, and I still plan to, but not right now because of the whole war, is Lebanon. And I was going to go to Israel after that. Obviously, the thing that happened October 7th.
No, Aaron, can I give you a suggestion? Go to Israel. Well,
there's a lot of Venezuelans.
You go to Israel first, and you'll have a problem getting into Lebanon. If you go to Lebanon, Israel won't stamp your passport, so you won't have a problem getting into Lebanon. But if you go to Lebanon first, you might have issues getting into Israel.
So I should probably go New York to Israel, right? If I want to go to Israel or something like that.
Yeah, you can go you can catch a ticket from anywhere in the United States to Israel. You just might have a stopover. But if you go to Lebanon first and they see your stamp in Lebanon, they're going to question you like crazy at the airport.
Actually, that actually makes a lot of sense what you said right now.
But if you go to
just
Israel,
thought about it right now.
But if you go to Israel, they don't stamp your passport, so you won't have any problems in Lebanon. They never stamp your passport in Israel. They just give you like a little ticket when you go to Israel because they know people have problems. Yeah. Because they know people have problems if they have a stamped passport from Israel. So they don't stamp passports in Israel.
No. Literally, what you just said makes complete sense. Actually, now I think about it, I'm like, actually, you probably would not be the best way to come through there. It's probably come through the American passport and live from an American city or something like that.
I'm just saying, if you, like I said, if you go to Israel and your American passport has a Lebanon stamp, they're going to ask you probably 1,000 questions.
Yeah, no. It makes more sense to do it from New York. The main reason I even mentioned Lebanon is because I have a cousin that lives there. There's a lot of like Lebanese like Christians that live in Venezuela, and one of my cousins married one of them and went back there.
Do you have a Lebanese last name?
No, I'm not Lebanese. I'm Venezuelan. I was born in Venezuela, but I grew up in the United States. I'm a U.S. citizen. But I'm saying one of my cousins, there's a lot of Lebanese, Palestinian, and Syrians in Venezuela.
If they find out you have a cousin in Lebanon, I don't know how they find that out, but you never know. They might question you at the airport. Just watch out for that.
Oh yeah, my cousin has nothing to do with anything. He's like a
you know what they did to me? Did you hear my story when I went to the airport? They questioned me because I have an ex-husband who's Pakistani. He's my ex-husband. I'm not. I wouldn't.
He's from Pakistan. Damn, you got married. I'm not trying to talk shit. I think people. I know a lot of Pakistani people, but like their passport is like branded worldwide.
But I'm just saying, they gave me the full crazy treatment. Like it was insane what I went through.
That's what happens. But look, I'm gonna get off this right now, Andrea. Look, it was at least you allow me to speak some. You did interrupt a bunch of times, but I'm gonna let you go back to maybe fighting with somebody else. Thank you for allowing me in here. Again, we don't agree with poly. When it comes to Israel, I think me and you don't agree with 95% of the time. But I don't want to lose the connection of being able to come here and at least being able to say things and go back and forth.
I like talking to you, Aaron. I respect you, and I respect that you care and you're passionate. Just listen. It's not good for my.
Don't talk shit about me again, but don't try to do the personal attacks again because you did it.
Well, Aaron, it wasn't about a personal attack. I was just pointing out. Don't spread yourself so thin because really, then you won't be a quote unquote expert on anything.
No, this is the only thing I will always say when it comes to if I want to learn about different things is at the end of the day, yes, there are different ethnicities and all of that, but we are humans. So, so I'm not really spreading myself.
The last person I was talking to, Aaron, you know what I said? The last person I was talking to, I said, if the one thing I can accomplish in life is teaching people that we're more the same than we are different, then I've done something good in life.
We're literally the same shit. So that's at the end of the day. Actually, we can literally and we can call each other shit or whatever, but we are the same and we should feel the same for people and stuff. We're always going to have different opinions. I just sometimes sometimes I do want to tell you certain things, Andrea, because I feel like it's kind of crazy that some of the things you think, but you think the same thing about me. But I try to at least be respectful because at the end of the day, I have another human being in front of me. And when it comes to anybody, man,
But Aaron, remember, I've been there. Half of my neighborhood is Israeli. I speak to people in Israel on a daily basis. I really know what I'm talking about. And I've been to Palestinian areas. So I really know what I'm talking about. And I've known Palestinians. When I was Muslim, one of my best friends was Palestinian. So I probably know what I'm talking about just a little bit more than you.
Damn.
And I also read the news. I read Hebrew news.
I read anything. I get it. We do disagree. Well, we're going to agree to disagree right now. I'm sure hopefully nothing crazy happens and hopefully we have some peace in the Middle East soon because it affects us here too. So we don't want that shit. At the end of the day, again, thank you so much, Andrea. I'm going to hop off here. If anything, maybe I'll jump later, okay?
Okay, have a great night.
You guys have an interesting debate. Take care. You guys have a good night.
Bye.